Here you go. All right, so let's learn how to deploy an app to the cloud. So first of all, I'm going to create a new app, from scratch, literally. So I'm on the terminal. I hope you can see the screen, guys. Because I'm on the terminal. How do you create a new app, guys? Do you remember? Without npm, no. So that's to install create React app. But once you go to the install, it's as simple as typing create React app and then the name of your app. So I mean, I don't mind, to be honest. I'm not going to do any coding, just a simple hello world message. So let me call it hello world, yeah, or hello evening people, yeah, hello evening people. So now, in theory, as you already know, Facebook is downloading all the plugins, dependencies, and all we need to essentially start dealing with the app. In the meantime, I like to play a bit with GitHub. So the way this deployment system works is, I will deploy my code to GitHub. Why? Because that's the way you've been working so far. You work on a task, commit and push, so you are very familiar with that flow. And then we're going to create some sort of hook. You know what a hook is? So a hook is a mechanism that intercepts something. Yeah, hook. Yeah. So the hook will be, whenever we send the code to GitHub, the hook will capture that action, like, hey, you are trying to deploy new code to GitHub. So that hook will essentially assemble, will compile, will do some stuff with that piece of code, and it will send it to a server in the cloud. So far, some of you know how to deploy apps to Heroku. Yeah? So Heroku. So why Heroku? So Heroku, first of all, is very powerful. Yeah? So Heroku is a good idea. So if you like to deploy stuff to the cloud, Heroku is very powerful. However, you know that with Heroku, if you're using the free plan, the app sleeps after some period of inactivity. So that means that, for instance, if you want to present your app to a potential employer and that person is clicking on the link to your Codeflix app, he will have to wait for 2 minutes. That's not very convenient from a UX point of view. That may not work. So Heroku is very good if you pay for it. It's $7 a month. So, I mean, if you're creating a startup, to start with is good enough. The problem is it doesn't scale well. At some point, it will become very expensive. Yeah. But at least to start playing with, it has a free plan, fine. If you need a bit more power, then $7 a month is really good. So now we would like to present you something different, something really different. So that new technology, this is quite new actually, it's called Now, N-O-W. And it's offered by a company called Seed or Zate or however you pronounce that. Develop, preview, ship. That's pretty cool, pretty cool. Pros and cons, first of all. Cons or disadvantages. This technology doesn't support backend. So that's not suitable if you want to build something complex with APIs and stuff like that. But for instance, if you want to build something simple, sometimes you want to build something simple like your portfolio or a static web page using React, yeah, that's fantastic. Because with the free plan, your app never sleeps. Yeah? So if you want to present something, create it with React, your portfolio, something, a shop of a friend of you, whatever, yeah, that's fantastic. And it's super simple. The setup is super simple. So yeah, that's what we will be using. So first of all, yeah, you can see, so the installation of my Hello Evening application work. So let me, Hello Evening People. I got 2 Hello Evening applications. So I think the new one is Hello Evening People. So let me create that project on GitHub, which is something that you've already done as well. Why? Because the hook will be between my local system and my GitHub account. Yeah? So I need to commit and push my code to GitHub. So there is nothing new, nothing exotic so far. So github.com, and then, that's my GitHub profile. And then the next thing I would like to do is to create a new repo. So if you go to your repositories and you click on the link, you got all your repos here, and you can click on the new button. Pretty simple, right? And now give a repo name. For simplicity reasons, I will call the repo, I will keep the same name on the cloud and on my local environment. We may use different names, But what's the point of making it more complicated? Hello, evening people. Public project, blah, 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 blah. Yep, all good. Cool, fantastic. So my repo is created on my GitHub account. It's empty, there is nothing on it yet, but at least it's there. So the next step is back to my VS Code. I would like to open the project I just created. So I go to open folder, and now as usual, you need to identify where your project is. By default, projects are created on your home directory. So if you are a Mac user, I'm sure you can easily identify where your home directory is. Yeah, you click, you cannot see anything, I'm afraid. But you will see the home icon. You cannot even see that, sorry guys, I cannot zoom that. But if you click on the home icon, it will show you the home directory. If you're a Windows user, finding your home directory may be a bit more challenging because it's a bit hidden. Yeah? But the way it looks like is something like c:/users/ your username, sexyboy23, and then your project name, whatever it is. Yeah? It's the home directory. Cool. So I select my repo, I click on the open, and now, well, this is like Coldflix, yeah? Basic project, nothing exotic on it. Let's just start the server, guys, to see if it works. Yeah? How do you start the server on Create React App application? npm start, fantastic. npm start. So if I click npm start, interesting. I'm getting a warning. What happens? You cannot have more than one app running on each port. By default, apps run on port 3000, yeah? Localhost 3000. Because I'm running another random app on the port, that's not okay. However, Create React App is smart enough to invite us to change the port of the new app. Do you want me to deploy that to a new port? Why not? Of course. Yeah? So now, after a few seconds, hopefully you can see the spinner loading message on top of my screen. Hopefully now we'll get the welcome to React message that hopefully you are familiar with. So here we go. Yeah, so that means I'm feeling pretty comfortable with the setup. I got the React logo. So imagine that that's essentially the final version of our app. We want to deploy that to the cloud. At the moment, this is localhost. Yeah? You cannot consume my sexy app. But I would like to deploy to the cloud, and then I will send you the link, so then you can actually interact with it. Yeah? That's the cloud. So first of all, let's commit and push. To commit and push my code, we need to run a couple of activities. Not sure if you remember these things, because I mean I know you know how to create a React component because you've been doing that on a weekly basis. However, how to connect your laptop with your GitHub account, you don't do that often. Yeah, that's the second video we send you before joining the bootcamp. So we need to do a couple of things. First of all, we need to copy that URL. So this is essentially the address of your project in the cloud. So let me copy that. And now back to the terminal. Guys, can I interact with the terminal? Can I type some stuff here? Why not, Bella?
Because the server's running.
Correct, you're right. Yeah, you got the job. The server is running. I mean, I can tell whatever I want, but it is not going to listen, yeah? So, to interact with the terminal, I can click on the plus button, new terminal, and then I can type whatever I want as far as it makes any sense, yeah? So, to link my laptop with my new GitHub account, or my new GitHub project to be more precise, I need to type git remote add. I want to add a new remote, I want to add a new address on the internet, let's say. Origin is like the keyword referring, there's a de facto standard referring to the location of your GitHub repos. If you work on task number 17, if you deploy to Heroku, you will have added another one called git remote add Heroku. So you obviously can deploy your app to multiple clouds. Yeah? That makes sense, why not? So git remote add origin, and then you paste the address you got on your clipboard. Yeah. So once you got that, what else? Well, we need to commit and push. Yeah. However, as you may have noticed, there is nothing to commit. Why there is nothing to commit?
You need to add it.
That's a good point. Yes and no. Generally speaking, you need to add it. However, I got the feeling that as soon as I install the new application, Facebook did that for me on the first one. Because look, we've got many files and folders. However, my change list is empty. There's nothing pending to be added, committed. Yeah. So do you know how can you actually figure out if that's true or not? If you, no, that has nothing to do.
Git status.
Correct. I like that. Git status, for instance, nothing to commit. So something has been already committed, but I didn't commit anything yet. Let me show you a very sexy command called git log. So git log will show you the commit history. And if I click git log, oh, there is one commit. What the hell? I didn't commit anything. Yeah, you see, I didn't commit anything. However, look, initialize project using creative app. Facebook did that for me. So Facebook now is doing the first commit of your project, which is cool because if the commit is there, what else do I need to do to send my changes to the cloud? Correct, Declan, git push. So if I type git push, the very first time, sometimes git is a bit special with this thing. Yeah, the first time install, please specify the whole line. So it's just inviting you to copy and paste the line because you want to push the changes to origin. Origin is the new remote address we just set up. It's the GitHub address. So now look, git push, blah, 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 blah. And now look, pushing. All good. So, guys, if I refresh the page, will I get any files and folders?
Yes, you get ready to be.
We should, right? Here you go. You see? One commit. I didn't commit anything, but Facebook did it for me. Initialize project using Create React app. Yeah? So good. My code is on the cloud. However, even though the code is safely persisted into my cloud, it's not available. I cannot run the app yet. GitHub is really good to save your code. It's like a hard drive. You save your code. However, it doesn't run the code. That's why we need a cloud system to run applications. So using Heroku, once again, I have nothing against Heroku, apart from the fact that if you don't want to pay for it, it's not good. It's not good because the apps will sleep. It's good for testing purposes, but eventually you don't want, imagine that you want to present your app to a venture capital, whatever, yeah? And they want to check your application. It takes 2 minutes to load the page. They're not going to put any money on that app, yeah? So, I got my local application, I got my GitHub account, I got everything sorted. So now back to now Zaid, or Zaid, how do you pronounce that? Zaid, I don't mind. As far as you can search it on Google, yeah? Zaid? Whatever. So, yeah, so essentially here, I got some projects, I play around a bit in the past. We started to talk about this technology, let me call it Now. I think Now is the name of the product, and Zaid or Zaid is the name of the company, or maybe on the other way around, I don't know. Who cares, yeah? The thing is, what they do is really good. So they simplify the process of sending apps to the cloud. You don't need to install anything. With Heroku, you need to install some software, I believe, some CLI, some command line interface, but with Now you don't need to install anything because the hook runs on the cloud. You send the code to the cloud, they will intercept that, and then it will forward. Still the code will be in your GitHub account. They are not stealing your code, yeah? So, look, it's pretty simple. Once you obviously need to sign up, blah, 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 terms and conditions, all these things, right? Eventually, you will see a new project. So let me click here. And now to me, this is like a new thing. I'm not familiar with that interface. That's why I told you I wanted to take some risks today. So from your existing code, yes, I like that. I want to deploy an app from my existing code. I got the code already. I got the app, yeah? That's my app. I got the app. I just want to deploy it. Fantastic. You can see that you can integrate with different code repositories. So have you heard about GitLab? First of all, GitHub. You know GitHub? Of course you know GitHub, yeah? So, but GitLab, what is GitLab? is yeah, it's something similar to GitHub. What's the main difference between GitHub and GitLab? So again, interface? No, that's not the main difference. The main difference is with GitLab, you can have a private local cloud. In other words, if you are working for a big bank, probably they are not going to be very keen on sending their code to GitHub, even if you create a private repo, blah, blah, blah. However, with GitLab, I can build, Raspberry Pi, or I can have a desktop machine, a laptop. I can have a computer here, and I can set up GitLab in here. So whenever you send the code, you send it to the local laptop. You don't send it to the actual cloud. So for people with a bit of paranoia with security, GitLab works better. Bitbucket, that's another alternative to GitHub. This is from an Australian company called Atlassian. This is the most important Australian software company. Yeah, I think the main difference between GitHub and Bitbucket, I think is with Bitbucket, you can have private repos for free. With GitHub, you cannot. At least historically speaking, that was not possible. I think now because GitHub belongs to Microsoft, they wanted to have private repos for free. I mean, I don't know, all this gossip, I'm not completely up to date. Yeah, I have big problems in life compared to knowing these things. And then command line, so from the command line you can install the software tool and you can send so. I mean, again, this is just my theory, yeah? I mean, I haven't actually tried the integration with these guys, but at least you know that it's good because you got some flexibility. However, for now, we're just going to deploy from GitHub, easy peasy. So let me click here. And now look. What the hell is that? So select GitHub repository to automatically deploy every commit, blah, 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 blah. That's interesting. I believe by default, you won't have anything because don't forget something, GitHub and Now are completely different platforms. So your Now account doesn't even know who you are on GitHub. So if it's the first time you are trying that, probably you need to set up a couple of things. You need to accept some terms and conditions. So I'm sure there is some, but again, this is easy peasy. It will take you 30 seconds to configure the connection between Now and GitHub. In my particular case, I can see, I mean, these projects are mine. So that link is already established. So these platforms trust each other. However, where is my Hello Evening People project? It's not listed here. And the reason is because I think by default, I'm not trusting Now. So whenever I create a new project, I need to explicitly tell GitHub, yes, you can grant access now on this project. However, edit your repository access settings. So let me click here. And then, yeah, you need to confirm blah, 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 GitHub, blah, 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 yeah? And now, yeah, so we got redirected to GitHub, as you can see. And this is where you can set up how much GitHub should trust Now. You can, by default, yeah, you can tell GitHub, hey, if I create a new repo, yeah, that's fine, grant access, blah, blah, blah. However, in my particular case, only the selected repositories from GitHub will be available on Now. Yeah. So
does that work with private repos as well?
it works with private repos. I think so. I think it works with private repos. But the reason why I wanted to explicitly grant access is because I don't want Now to access my private code by default. Things like that. Yeah. Yeah. So now I need to find the repo I created. Hello Evening People. I think it was that one. Yeah. So if I find it, you see, I got 3 now. I got 4. So I save the changes. And now, if I go back to Now, that's not there yet. Let me refresh the page. Maybe we need to refresh the page. I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm just playing around with the platform. Here you go. You see? If you refresh the page, that's super cool, yeah? Because all the other 3 are already linked to Now. I cannot select them, but that's the new one. Hello, Evening People. So let me select it. And then what? I have no idea. Import maybe? I don't know. So now create a new project. So we got a project locally, we got a project on GitHub, and now we're going to have a new project on Now. And they will be all connected somehow. Yes, why not? I don't know what's that. We click continue. Auto, look, that's cool. I've never seen that, but that's cool. Auto-detected Create React App framework. That's cool. So that means that if there are any oddities with the deployment, hopefully now we'll be able to handle them. Yeah, because it really understands this is a Create React App project. Yeah, I don't know what that means, so I will just try to deploy. Yeah, so I'm essentially testing how simple this platform is. I have no idea. I'm very lazy today. I don't even going to read instructions. I will just click on the deploy button, and then look, building. So in theory, if my assumption is correct, now essentially now it's creating an optimized version of your app. So it's concatenating all your files, minifying the images. You know, it's what we call a production-ready version of your app. Building. And you see, it's running. So now probably it's doing the npm install thingy. You remember when you install a new app? So it's essentially looking after your dependencies. Oh, look, ready. Oh, cool. That was super quick. Oh, that's fantastic. That's super sexy. That's probably the best thing you've seen today. So that's great. That makes me feel very happy because that's a preview, that's a picture. But hey, that's a picture I wanted, yeah? So that means that stayed ready. It took less than a minute. That's pretty cool, right? So now hopefully if I click on that link, it's telling me visit. Yes, thank you, I want to visit my page. Brilliant. You see? Not sure if you can see anything, but that's not my local host anymore. That's a public address. So not sure how can I show you that? Well, if I go to VS Code and I paste that address, can you see? Yeah, that's a public address, and I think you can even rename it if you want. If you don't really like the naming conventions, I think somewhere, yeah, I don't even remember how to do that. Look, view domains. So you can link with some domains. So if you go to an external domain like Wiki, so you can definitely play with it. Yeah. Yeah, it's super easy, super easy. Anyway, I'm not going to play with that, but yeah, so definitely it's working. Yeah, super cool. So now let me do the final test. I'm going to do some changes on my local environment. I would like to deploy them to the cloud, and then we'll see if my theory is correct. Remember what I told you before about hooks. So if the hook works as expected, as soon as I push the changes without doing anything, now should detect, oh, there's a new commit and push. Let's build and let's deploy the new version. Yeah, that's the theory. So what do you want me to do? I don't know. I'm just going to do some random changes on my code. So let's do a bit of HTML and CSS. I'm going to do it quite quickly. So for instance, I go up app.js, app.css. So on the JavaScript side, let's remove everything and then let's have a title, h1, hello evening people, you are the best, happy face. And then let me create a div with the days of the week. This is completely stupid, yeah, what I'm doing. So do you remember how to use flex and grid and all these things? So let me use a grid, container, and then the days of the week, Monday. Look at how stupid this example is, eh? Completely pointless. Class name and item. If you don't remember how to create a grid, yes, check the workshop videos where we explain that. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, and then we got Wednesday, and then we got Thursday and Friday. So back to the CSS. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Cool, brilliant. So back on the CSS, container, display, grid. This is completely unrelated to the workshop. Yeah, I'm just proving my ability to write CSS. So for instance, do you remember, guys, how can I create, for instance, 2 columns? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Grid template columns, 1FR, 1FR. How can I add some spacing with the columns? Fantastic. Grid gap. 30 pixels. Let me add some border, 30, no, 1 pixel or 3 pixels. So give me your favorite color. Give me a good one, really good color.
Orange.
Yellow.
That's pretty boring. Which one?
Some. That's really nice.
Let me do something weird. When I want to impress someone,
Red brick.
Golden ring.
if I'm in a you know what I will do if I win a youth interview? I say, okay,
Watermelon.
no, whatever. I will type a weird character. For instance, character K. Khaki. I love it. It looks like you know what the khaki color is, yeah? Anyway, color khaki. And then if I look, why it doesn't work? It doesn't work because that's the cloud environment. I'm working locally. I haven't commit and push. However, if I commit and push, oh, nice. Eh? You do your khaki border. So you can add some padding, something like that. Can we talk about responsive design, guys? What if I go mobile? I don't want to, for instance, if I, can I display everything in one row on mobile? Do you remember how to write a media query?
Yeah.
Media,
And screen.
only screen. Actually, I think that's optional.
It's optional.
Only screen means if you print your web page, it won't apply the changes because it will be only screen, only print. I don't care. I mean, guys, if you want to print that, yeah, I hope you got better things to do than printing my web page. Huh? So media, max width, 600 pixels, for instance, and then container. What?
Display flags, for example.
No, that's too complicated. I just want to change the layout, the columns, one column.
Grid template.
Correct. Grid template columns, one font, hopefully, yeah? So if my syntax is correct, boom, it is. Mobile, yeah, one after the other, nice, cool, sexy. On desktop, 2 columns, yeah? Cool. And then pop, pop. Yeah, I don't like the border. Let me change it to background color. Background color, khaki. And then can we set color? Ooh, olive. No.
Yeah, they're too small. Navy blue.
Navy blue. I love that. Navy.
Oh, it's just a navy.
It's just navy. That's okay, guys. I think it's readable enough. Let me change the font size. Font size, 30 pixels. I think it's all right, yeah? You happy with that? Cool, fantastic. So now, once again, the only thing I'm going to do is commit and push. My expectations are very high. Yeah, I don't want to run any weird command to deploy the change to the cloud. I want to do commit and push, and then changes should be alive. So now, updating the UI with some sexy boxes around. Happy face, don't do that, yeah? Make sure you provide a meaningful title, commit, push. Pushing, 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 pushing. Boom. So push worked fine. So now my next question is GitHub updated? Instead of 1 commit, I should have 2 commits if I refresh. Yes. GitHub is nice. But now, what about now? I don't know. Oh, whoa, look, building again, 10 seconds ago. It's pretty cool, yeah? I didn't trigger any action regarding now. I just pushed to GitHub. But because now there is a hook. Oh, is that ready? It took 20 seconds. It's brilliant. That's one of the best things I've seen in my life, guys. So now, you click on the link again. I mean, listen, if I just refresh, you see, that's the cloud URL, if I refresh the page. Oh, is it a different URL? I don't know. Should it be? Oh, it's just the URL. Oh, yes. I think that's because at the beginning, the first time you don't have like a permanent URL, so now gives you like a temporary URL for playing purposes. But you are right, because now the URL doesn't look that ugly. Before it was like a weird token with weird characters, but now that looks much better because that's the project name, that's my username, and that's now.sh. Yeah? So hopefully, look at how cool this URL is. If I click on it, oh, cool. Actually, can you try, guys, locally? Can you turn your laptops? That should work, right? Hell, let me show it to you on not on Slack. Yeah, I could paste it on Slack, but I got the Slack closed, so I don't want to open it. Sorry about that. I'm sure you can paste that URL manually. Hello, das evening, das people. No, that is it. Fantastic. Is it responsive? Can you shrink?
It's not even free.
Yes.
Cool, fantastic. So you've seen, I mean, it took me 30 minutes to deploy the app, and it's because I was just talking a lot, yeah? But if you want to do it very fast, very quickly, in 4 minutes, in 3 minutes, your app could be live. So once again, this pattern is very powerful, it's very new, it's becoming very popular. Just please be aware of the limitations. You cannot have any backend. Yeah? So you cannot have any proper node backend. So if you want to build something complex, that I don't think that works at all. I don't think it works at all. But hey, sometimes you don't need that complexity. If you want to build your portfolio, just a static web page with React. Yeah? So if you want to play with React, if you want to prove that you've been working with React, blah, 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 you can create a few projects and that's all you need. Super cool. Yeah? Any questions, guys? No? Say it again?
I said, I'm with you. I can play anyway from that as well. Now.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, I think the very simple main just to try out.
Cool. That was it. Thank you, guys.